Hey guys, Zora here. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. We had just basically blown this case out of the water. Turns out the waiter was lying. He's actually a police inspector and got the other witnesses to lie about there being a third party in this area. So now we're waiting for Miss Giselle Brett to come over here so that we can basically have her testimony as a witness. Excellent work, Yurasaki. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat. Your eyes were popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimony. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it! It's terrifying! If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again! Anyways, it looks like we exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain. Is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start! Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my power of observations are one thing I am sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. I mean, I would like to change that because I would think he would have seen that Dr. Wilson had been shot, but that's beside the point. That's neither here nor there. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself, then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. And just after I'd bent down and picked it up. I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me looking as white as a sheet. And he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I had no idea what happened outside the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikotoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system, even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis in his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyways. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that is your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma! Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes. You need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. and it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I have no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck! Thank you! Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defendant Naruhodo! Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow, before these old fossils know what hit them. Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really? What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer, and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. That's... Okay, that's a place indeed. With an extra large portion, of course. Yume Cafeteria on University Street. Oh man. Alright, let's see our lovely little lady. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Aoji, have you managed to subpoena the witness?
Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government.
Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about.
It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. But you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders?
Founders? Is it not flounders? Or did I miss the L in there? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nation is really so frail, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. Wow. Okay, Kazuma. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke.
What do you mean?
A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England?
Shut up! Shut up, you jumped-up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures.
I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Ryunosuke, despite the wide-eyed look of terror.
You little brats!
Thank you, Counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system, and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett.
Yes. Your Excellency!
God, algae is gonna drive my throat to the ground. And now we have a very blue lady. That looks very uncomfortable to wear, to a certain degree.
Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land.
Tea! Someone bring English tea! In England, no discussions take place without tea! Is that true? No idea.
So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court?
Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I've been working undercover as the head waiter at Le Carnival.
Yes, we already know about you.
Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh, yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. Look at Kazuma's face.
So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please.
I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but... What? The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student currently enrolled in Yume University's medical facility.
Oh my! What a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song.
As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You're obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. I'm really glad they didn't try to change her language, because usually when we have localization like that, they usually switch up the language to either Spanish or French. It would have been really awkward in this situation. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called Le Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? And also, like, the little squiggles, at least in the later text, it's a little bit easier to see what is kind of said. But honestly, it's just scribbles to us. She says, yes. Like, why is that from, like, 2 lines of text? This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese? It's actually a shame because I really want to voice her out, but I literally do not know what she's saying, nor do I know a different language to replace it with. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau.
Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic picture? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps?
Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say? Yes, it would appear that the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Order! Order in the court!
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement.
Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. I had arranged, I mean, technically, since he's translating for, I guess I could do the girlish voice. Yeah, sure. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered myself only a beefsteak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. Maybe I should give her a deeper voice. Voice acting's hard.
Yes!
Oh, I didn't even see what he said! No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all!
Objection! Quiet, you filthy wretch! Look at you, you blackguard, and look at the Snow White Angel! I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe.
You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're coded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. Ugh, but he's so annoying! Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the 2 witnesses who testified before, and reported back to the Bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last 2 witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so. On the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot.
There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. Ugh, that's ridiculous! If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it! Please do not take that out of context by any means. Don't do anything don't think about doing anything rash, Yurasaki. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up! There must have been another gun there that day! You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. Ah, look at that sly little grin of hers. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency! Oh, this is gonna be a trip. Unfortunately, I think I've forgotten all of her words trying to focus on doing the little voicey voice. Fortunately, we don't have to deal with the whole scribble translation back and forth. So, slightly delayed luncheon. You ordered a beef steak. Came over to greet and they got into a fierce argument. I know for sure that didn't happen. Yes. So we're gonna press that. I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please, don't get angry with me. No. I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese.
No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway.
I'm about to kick you in the head.
English is the future. We all must supiku.
Oh god, am I about to say this out loud?
We all must speak English.
God. Duh. Oh, it hurts. Oh, the English is strong in this one. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, only in the presence of a beautiful woman. Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. Speak English. Anyways, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yes. I still had some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that was when I finished my coffee and stood up to leave. Okay, so that didn't really help me. Yes! What about this one? Because no normal student would actually have a gun. Like I said, I did not shoot that gun. And like I said, there's no point repeating that assertion over and over. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side.
Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out of the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand.
Oh, well, yes, that's true, but all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. Wow, I'm impressed I said that without flubbing it up for once. In fact, yes! There was someone much closer to the victim than me at the time. The highly suspicious lady over... Oh.
That will do, you rotten scoundrel!
Dirty?
Your baseless accusations could very well cause an international incident, boy!
It seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours.
What nonsense! The lady's merely stating what she saw.
Oh, that's not Algie. Whoops! I knew this was gonna happen. Also, look at her little masquerade mask, the little hanging mask, and it just does the little eye movements for her because we can't see her eyes. Oh crap! This is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned, anyway. Oh come on! Does nothing?
Yes!
Nothing seems like... Do I have to press the entire situation? It's all very well sounding, but can you prove it? You're saying. Absolutely. I verified it personally. You... verified it? Yes. Immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm not." That's all you did. You just asked her. Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector. No.
Why on earth not? The honorable English gentlewoman clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. There was obviously no need for any further probing into the matter.
Or there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps?
Think what you will. But if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts. Assertion.
In other words, he wants evidence. Scribbly scribble, scribbly scribble, what do you have to happen here? The lady wishes to point out that of course she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation. But she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of here. Not to get her out of there, I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime. Which is why she is only too happy to cooperate and testify here in court today, of course.
Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. You could at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you.
Oh, we're not getting anything. Why are we not getting anything? Which is an out and out totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she is an elegant, refined, young, and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm dressed exactly the same way as you are, except the flapping red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction it is. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even you with your thick skin must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well. I feel half dead already. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either. First thing to do is press her on any of her statements that seem even slightly off to you. Do that, and an opening will present itself. I promise you. Oh god. So I guess I just have to press on all 5 of them. I was hoping this wouldn't be the case. Okay, so what about your meeting? After 2 p.m., in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
Objection!
You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are in vogue, isn't that right?
No.
Ah!
The decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would have lunch together. Or they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense.
Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is.
So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next?